For the fifth and final C of Adobe Acrobat 8, we're going to take a look at control. And I'm going to open a document. It's the R5 proposal document, and it's a document that I need to secure. Acrobat has offered security functionality for quite a while now, but there's a new option here, and that is to use Adobe Online Services. If you're familiar with Adobe Acrobat Security, you might know of a product called the Adobe Policy Server. It's a separate product, a server product that Adobe offers that allows you to create policies, and that's what these two here are, that you can host in a central location. The PDF file has to actually call home and ask for permission to open. However, not all organizations are large enough to provide the infrastructure or even really afford the Adobe Policy Server until they know that it's going to solve the problems that they need it to solve. And so Adobe has created an online version of the Adobe Policy Server that you can use as a more pay-as-you-go tool for the security of your documents. And that's very useful. When you install Adobe Acrobat 8.0, you should experiment with it because the security that it offers goes beyond the security functionality built into Adobe Acrobat. However, there's another level of control to consider here, and that is a process called redaction. Under the Advanced menu, I have a tool called redaction, and for those of you who are not familiar with redaction, it's the process of blanking out text. If you've ever seen a spy movie or one of the police dramas that are on TV, you've probably seen a document that had magic marker covering some of the text. That's a redaction process. What they're trying to do is protect the privacy of certain information on a document, such as an individual's name or information that's top secret or something like that. For a long time, people have been trying to use the comment tools to redact a document, but when you apply a highlighter to some text in a document, it doesn't actually do anything to the text. It lives there. In fact, anyone who understands how to use Acrobat reasonably well knows that you can go in and delete those things. Maybe not with the free reader, but certainly with a full-blown copy of Acrobat. So, for that reason, Adobe has added the redaction tools, and I'll show the new redaction toolbar. To use the redaction toolbar, I'll select Mark for Redaction. And this is a permanent process, which is why Adobe has this dialog box. Adobe wants you to understand that when you apply the redaction, you're going to be removing text from the document. So I'll select OK. And let's say that this is text that I need to redact. I select it. It is now marked for redaction. And when I roll over it, I can see what it's going to look like. And I can reread it to make sure that I truly want to redact it. The final thing I need to do to apply the redaction is simply apply redactions. Now, Adobe's going to warn me one more time. This is a permanent removal of the text from the document. If I do a search on this document, I'm not going to find this text. I cannot delete the redaction from the document because this is permanent. So Adobe shows me this dialog box to give me one last chance to change my mind and select Cancel. I'm OK with it. I'll click OK, and the redactions have been successfully applied. However, there's a final step here because redaction is the process of removing stuff that I don't want you to see. There may be other parts of this document that contain information that could be a problem. And so for that, there's an Examine Document feature that the redaction is going to take me to if I ask it to. I'll select Yes. And in this case, this document contains metadata. That metadata, which is just information that's stored in the document that might not be visible on any page, but tells an enterprise content management system or some other system what's in the document, and it itself could be sensitive information. So the Examine Document feature allows me to remove the checked items by simply selecting Remove All Checked Items. Now, these grayed out items are items that you can look for and remove if they're in the document. This document only contains metadata, so I'll select Remove All Checked Items. It has been removed. I'll click OK, but then I'll need to do a save in order to save those changes. And in a case like this, I'll probably want to do a Save As. Now, I'm not going to bother with that, but when you do, you end up with a document that has no metadata, redacted text, it has been brought under control, and then if I want to use the security functionality to make sure that it's protected from any other changes, I can go ahead and do so. And there you have them, the 5 C's of Acrobat. I can create, combine, collect, collaborate, and control, and there are a ton of new features to allow you to do those things, plus all of the good stuff that you might have used before, so I would encourage you to get in there, take a look, and have some fun.